Hello, hello, hello. It's just before 4 o'clock here on April 24th. If you guys can hear me okay, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Karina and Foco, Victoria, hello from Arvada. Holguin, that's a very unique name. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. In Milliken, Kathleen, hello in Longmont, Timothy, Lisa, Longmont, Miranda, hello from Lyman, Brian Gary, Hall of Famer Brian Gary, hello. I'll see you on Friday, sir. Bring your crumble cookies. Daniel in Falcon, Dean in West Greeley, Brooke Littleton, Tammy up at F.E. Warren. Hey, I've been there. Jen, mom of 3 in Casterly Rock, hello. Sarah, Colorado Springs. Mara, Westminster. Aaron and Evans, hello. Laura, Casterly Rock. Kathleen and Bailey. Valerie and Thornton, hello. Deb and Frederick. Good stuff. Every like, comment, and share helps. You guys know the drill. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I've got a lot of information to go over. I'll try not to take up a whole bunch of time, but we got a lot of spicy to talk about. Erica in Brighton. Albuquerque. Nice. Mallory down there in Windsor. Hello. D. Scott in Centennial. Michelle, Casterly Rock. Jordan in Scottsbluff, Nebraska in the house. Love it. Okay. As you guys keep hopping on, I'll just let you know and remind you that I will record this in its entirety, and it will have captions with it as well. I will post that on the page afterwards so that people who are not able to join us live can go back and refer to it later at any time. And it'll just be a good resource for people if they want to go back and watch it again from the beginning. Melissa Ballard and Greeley, hello. Morgan way out there in Ray on the Eastern Plains. Emily and Berthoud. Ray in Chicago. I like it. Cynthia, Sloan's Lake. Walsenburg in the house. Broomfield, good stuff. Okay. I'm going to pull up some slides. I made some handy dandy slides, and I want to show you guys what we're looking at here. So 2 storm systems, 4 days, lots of spicy. That's the theme. And everything there on the right is what we're going to be contending with here over the next 4 days, including but not limited to wind, elevated fire danger, mountain snowfall, rain showers, thunderstorms, severe weather. Rain may be changing or mixing over to wet snowfall over the weekend at lower elevations. That would primarily be on the Palmer Divide and perhaps locations in the foothills west of I-25. I'll talk about that in more intricate detail here in just a little bit. But first, let's talk about the severe weather aspect. This is tomorrow, Thursday. Anybody that's within the dark green shade, the yellow shade, or the orange shade. So I'm basically going to include anybody northeast of Denver. I think the Storm Prediction Center will make some adjustments here in northern and northeast Colorado. So you're probably going to see some changes to the shading here. And I don't want you guys to get too caught up in the graphics. Generally, what I tell people is if you're within the dark green shade, find your helmet. If you're in the yellow shade, put on your damn helmet. And if you're in the orange shade, you may need 2 damn helmets. So window of time is going to be about 2 to 8 o'clock. That's going to be the greatest window of instability for strong to severe thunderstorms here on the northeast plains. And again, this is going to be primarily north and east of Denver. Let me turn off the banner real quick so you guys can see everything. But the shower and thunderstorm threat is going to continue probably into the night as the storm continues to strengthen and undergo cyclogenesis and begin its little spinny thing, what cyclones do best. And I'll show you guys what that looks like on the future radar here in a little bit. But anybody on the eastern plains, Northeast of Denver, getting into extreme southeast Wyoming, especially east of, say, Torrington, Wyoming, and Cheyenne, getting into the Nebraska Panhandle and western Kansas. You need to be prepared tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening for the possibility of severe thunderstorms that will produce large hail, damaging winds, and yes, of course, due to varying winds with height, can't rule out a couple of tornadoes either. Danger noodles, I like to refer to them as. Second aspect of this, the snowfall, the mountain snowfall. I think the greatest accumulation potential is going to be at and above pass level, where 1 to 2 feet, so awesome, could fall with locally higher amounts. And this is going to be Thursday through Monday. So this is 2 storms, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that 4 days, total snowfall accumulation of 1 to 2 feet at and above pass level. And there could be some localized amounts that approach 3 feet. Bonkers, I know. There will probably be a brief break Friday morning into Friday afternoon as the first system exits to the northeast, and then the second storm system comes in right on its heels for Friday night going into Saturday and then lingering into the day on Sunday. And then, of course, I mentioned this a few minutes ago, there is potential for rain to mix with or change to wet snowfall here along portions of the Palmer Divide in areas at and above 6,000 feet Saturday and going into early Sunday. Now, there's quite a bit of discrepancy depending on which forecast model you look at with regards to where exactly the snow level is going to be late Saturday and into Sunday, but I at least wanted to give you this information. Keep this in the back of your mind. I'm not looking at significant accumulation by any stretch of the imagination down here at lower elevations, but the potential certainly exists. So keep that in the back of your mind, okay? And this is for late Saturday and going into the day on Sunday. Now, rainfall. This is a bizarre setup because this all has to do with storm tracks. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Southern Colorado, so especially in and south of Pueblo County, I think Thursday and going into Friday, you're going to experience elevated fire danger. And this is going to be due to downsloping westerly winds that come off the foothills. This is dry air that's being ingested into the storm as it strengthens. I'll show you guys what that looks like on the radar, future radar here in just a minute. But that's why rainfall amounts are going to be a lot lower here in southern Colorado because the storm track is going to be more to the north. So there's going to be a pretty wide discrepancy in rainfall amounts across the northern half of our region versus the southern half. And of course, that could change if there's any deviations in the storm track, but that's what we're looking at least for right now. So another thing I want to add is storm number 2 that comes in late Friday, goes through Saturday and wraps up Sunday, will likely have more rainfall amounts than storm number 1, okay? Our storm for tomorrow and into Friday is going to be more of a severe weather threat and thunderstorm threat. The second storm coming in for late Friday into Saturday, wrapping up Sunday, is going to be more of a rainfall and wind threat. Okay, everybody got that so far? Let's switch gears. And I want to show you guys what this looks like on the future radar simulation. I've got the wind field pulled up, but if you'll give me just a second, I'll show you guys what this radar simulation looks like. Reflectivity type. Let's go back to the beginning. Here, this is the time. So for those of you that are curious about time, this is what we're going to be paying attention to right here. This data was valid just a few hours ago, but this is the latest information that I have for you. Hi. Let's go back to the radar. All right. Let's loop this forward. And as you guys noticed, I showed a radar image here a few hours ago of thunderstorms training across the Cheyenne Ridge. A lot of kablamos around Cheyenne this afternoon. That was forecasted, of course. But this radar simulation is showing those storms training across the Cheyenne Ridge this afternoon, moving into the western Nebraska Panhandle later this afternoon, and going into this evening, There could be a few isolated showers and thunderstorms here in Morgan, Phillips, and Sedgwick counties going across the far northeast plains, mainly along the I-76 corridor. And those could linger through the overnight hours past midnight as we get a southeasterly surge of winds ahead of the incoming storm system for Thursday. So that's one thing I did not mention in my graphic, but for those of you that wake up on the northeast plains, Nebraska Panhandle, western Kansas, you could have some low clouds and fog when you wake up Thursday morning. And that's because the winds are responding out of the southeast ahead of the storm system. That's helping to advect moisture into the region from the southeast, from the Gulf of Mexico. And that's going to be the source of instability for a lot of the showers and thunderstorms that develop tomorrow afternoon, is this southeasterly low-level flow that's moving into the region on the eastern plains from the Gulf of Mexico. And that's why many of you will wake up to low clouds and fog Thursday morning. I'll continue to loop this through 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Other than the low clouds and fog, there's not a lot that's going on, but you'll see indications of the trough approaching from the west. There's a few showers and maybe even some isolated thunderstorms there in southern Wyoming and then across the northwest plateau around Craig and Dinosaur. But as we go through 11 a.m., again, not a lot going on. But once we get past the noon hour and into 1 o'clock, you're going to start seeing thunderstorms and convective snow showers, snare showers, or snare squirrels develop here in the mountains, in the San Juans, Gore Range, basically most mountain locations have the threat for thunderstorms developing tomorrow afternoon after noon to 1 o'clock. And of course, at and above pass level, some of those could be snow showers, convective in nature, thunder and lightning, thunder snare, and some hail and graupel. So it could be pretty spicy going over the mountain passes tomorrow afternoon. Not long after that, so around 3 o'clock mountain time, which is 4 o'clock central, there's going to be a warm front that lifts north across the Front Range and the eastern plains. That warm front is going to be a forcing mechanism for thunderstorms to develop tomorrow afternoon on and after 3 o'clock. And as I loop this forward, this is 5 o'clock, dry line, warm front. So you're going to see thunderstorms develop along portions of the I-25 corridor in the warm sector here in southeast Wyoming, far western Nebraska Panhandle. But the focus of strong to severe thunderstorms initially is going to be on this warm front. So Palmer Divide, El Paso County, going east into Lincoln County, out here around Kit Carson County, along the I-70 corridor, going through Burlington, Siebert, and going into western Kansas around Goodland. 3 to 5 o'clock, you're going to see thunderstorms erupt along this warm front. The dry line, which is the boundary between all of the warm, dry air being pulled into the storm circulation from the desert southwest, that is clashing with the southeasterly moist conveyor belt coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. Those two air masses clash together along what we call the dry line, and the only way the air can go is up, and it does so rather violently. So, and there's also rotating air, wind shear along this dry line, which is going to be another focus late tomorrow night and through the overnight hours for severe thunderstorms in southwest Kansas, moving into central Kansas during the overnight hours. So folks in Dodge City, Garden City, going east from there, be prepared for strong to severe thunderstorms overnight Thursday, capable of producing large hail and tornadoes. And eventually those will form a Boeing segment, which the primary threat there is going to be damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. And Boeing segments that are linear in nature tend to produce gusts in excess of 70 to 80 miles per hour. So there could be a pretty significant threat in southwestern Kansas and going into central Kansas overnight Thursday and into the day on Friday. But we're talking about here locally. The warm front is going to be the focus of most of these strong to severe thunderstorms here in Colorado tomorrow afternoon, as this warm front lifts north of I-70 And I think this is when the severe threat is going to be maximized. I said 2 to 8 on my graphic. I'm anywhere from 3 to 7 p.m. If you're north of Denver or northeast of Denver and you're north of I-70, so in and north of, say, Lyman or Burlington, anybody here in northeast Colorado, southeast Wyoming, western Nebraska, be prepared for strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Large hail, an inch in diameter or larger, that's quarter size, damaging winds in excess of 58 miles per hour or stronger. And due to the veering winds along the warm front, I can't rule out a tornado or two. Colorado is no stranger to tornadoes. I know a lot of you are experiencing spring here for the first time, and you had no idea that naders could happen in Colorado. Well, surprise, surprise, Weld County, Greeley, Hler, you rank number 1 for tornadoes per capita in the United States since 1950, and it's not even close. Number 3 is Adams County, here just east of the airport. I know Arapahoe County, Douglas County gets quite a bit of love as well, and Elbert County due to terrain influencing off of the Palmer Divide, but Weld County takes the cake. So I'm going to include Weld County, Morgan County, Phillips and Sedgwick County, even getting into Washington County, places around Akron. So Highway 34 corridor in and east of Greeley. Tomorrow afternoon, late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening could get pretty spicy. So not saying this to scare you. The probabilities still are fairly low at this point, but based on all the high resolution forecast model data I'm looking at, there will be scattered thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. 1 or 2 of them could certainly be severe. So don't be a dum-dum. Find your helmets, put on your damn helmets when the time comes. And if you do happen to get a warning in your area, lowest level of your home, interior room or closet, away from windows. Social science studies have told us over the last 10 to 15 years unequivocally that the number 1 cause of deaths in severe weather, particularly tornadoes, is blunt force trauma to the head. God forbid anybody gets hit by a nadir tomorrow. The chance is really, really, really small, but it's not zero. You increase your chances of survival significantly by wearing a helmet on your noggin. So that's why I always suggest helmets, not just for tornadoes, but there's going to be a dum-dum or two that's caught outside in the hail, and that's not going to feel very good bouncing off your head. All right, so this is 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. The severe threat starts to diminish pretty significantly. After the sun goes down, we lose a lot of the instability as the surface low continues to develop. And I'm just going to kind of rock this back and forth for a few frames because you can see a very pronounced spin on the radar begins to form Thursday night and going into the day on Friday. Okay, so the surface low is going to develop and spin somewhere where the Colorado border meets up with Nebraska. And overnight and into the day on Friday, you're going to see snowfall continue, especially on west and northwest facing slopes here in the mountains. At and above pass level, please be prepared for the possibility of winter driving conditions and rough travel starting tomorrow afternoon, going through the day on Friday. And then, of course, that'll get worse this weekend with the second storm system later Friday into the day on Saturday. But this particular area on the eastern plains, known as the deformation zone. So as the storm spins up like this, counterclockwise, the backside of the storm system is what we call the deformation zone. It's an area of stretching in the atmosphere that enhances precipitation rates. It's a lot like bringing out a sponge. And if this deformation zone is positioned just right, it is a prolific rainmaker. We saw one last spring, if you guys remember, that got us started off in what was to become one of the wettest springs we've seen on record. So depending on where this deformation zone sets up, and again, there could be some small variations in track, overnight Thursday and into Friday, there could be a belt of moderate to heavy rainfall and embedded thunderstorms that sets up, oriented from northwest to southeast across portions of southeast Wyoming, the western Nebraska Panhandle, and portions of northern and northeast Colorado overnight Thursday and into the day on Friday. The best chance of that happening is going to be north of Denver and northeast of Denver, basically along and north of I-70, okay? For those of you along the immediate I-25 corridor, especially in southern Colorado, you're going to be like, what storm? And that's when I tend to get a lot of messages and comments from dum-dums who have no clue what the hell is going on. Meanwhile, snow's continuing in the central and north, well, basically most of the mountain locations at and above pass level. 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m. Friday afternoon, this first storm system gets out of here pretty quick into Nebraska, and then bam, the second storm system moves in right on its heels, late Friday afternoon and into Friday night. And the leading shortwave with this trough is probably going to produce scattered showers and thunderstorms Friday afternoon and into Friday night as early as 3 to 4 o'clock. Again, snow showers are still ongoing in the mountains. This will include western portions of the Mesa, Grand Junction, I-70 corridor, around DeBeck, getting west of Glenwood Springs. Most locations Friday afternoon into Friday night there on the Mesa, scattered thunderstorms a good possibility. And then obviously you climb higher in elevation. Friday afternoon into Friday night, you're going to get into the snow and the possible squalls at and above pass level, okay? But Friday afternoon, 2 to 4 o'clock, we see scattered showers and thunderstorms develop with this pseudo-warm front. Moves into the Denver metro. This is Friday night, 8 o'clock. Quite a few of you have messaged me about maybe a show potentially at a little venue called Red Rocks. Good luck. And embedded thunderstorms as well with these showers as they develop and move north and northeast across the area late Friday afternoon into Friday night. And then I want to switch to another product that goes out another 24 hours so I can show you what happens during the day on Saturday. But let me read some comments here real quick. Yep, drama, hail, helmets, drama, hail, drama, Florida, comment, hurricanes, yep, okay, got it, that makes sense. Maria, what does it mean by pass level? Okay, I recognize a lot of you may be new and don't understand what I mean by pass level. I would encourage you to drive into the mountains one day and you will understand what I mean by pass level. Here's what that means. If you're ever on I-70, ever, you are going to climb an elevation. You're going to get past a little place called Georgetown, and then you are going to climb up the Continental Divide to the top of the Colorado Rockies and get to a place called the Eisenhower Tunnel, which summits at over 12,000 feet in elevation, also known as Loveland Pass. So it's the high mountain passes where vehicles cross over the not the Palmer Divide. It's the high mountain passes that vehicles travel to go up and over the Rocky Mountains. And you can get spicy weather at pass level any time of the year. I've seen June, July, and August snowfall at pass level. And a lot of the locals have as well if you've been around here long enough. Berthoud Pass, Highway 40. You exit off between Georgetown and Idaho Springs like you want to go to Winter Park or Kremling or Granby, or if you want to go all the way to Steamboat Springs. You have to cross over the Continental Divide at Berthoud Pass to drop down into Winter Park. Berthoud Pass summits at over 12,000 feet. Also in northern Colorado, you have Rabbit Ears Pass. You have Cameron Pass. There are so many passes that you have to drive over through the Rocky Mountains to get to the other side. So that's what I mean by pass level. There's no going around the Rockies. You have to go over the Rockies, or in the case of the Eisenhower Tunnel, through the Rockies. So incredibly spicy weather. It can cause total gridlock on I-70, especially for people that do not have snur tires or think that all-wheel drive, they are, yeah, okay. So are we good on pass level? Does everybody understand what pass level is? Okay, and I have completely lost my train of thought. Hold on, bear with me. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you're staying safe and healthy and not being dum-dums. Okay, here we go. Other comments. Yep, Idaho Springs chiming in. Oh, that's going to be another question I get. What dictates the foothills? West of I-25, generally, the foothills are going to be in and north of Douglas County. In El Paso and Teller County, that's known as the Rampart Range. Manitou Springs, Rampart Range. In and north of Douglas County, it's all the towns that are located between 6,000 and 9,000 feet. Bailey, Evergreen, Conifer, Netherland, Ward, Estes Park, Red Feather Lakes. I'm sure I'm missing some. You get the idea. Foothills, west of I-25. That is not the I-25 corridor. It is west of I-25 between 6,000 and 9,000 feet. Are we good on the foothills? Bradley, I'm recording this. You can go back and watch it later. All right, let's go to Saturday, shall we? I know a lot of you have questions in the comments. I'm doing my best to give you guys all the information you need to make educated decisions, but just a friendly courtesy to you, a reminder, I'm not an event planner. I'm not a travel agent. That's why I'm giving you all the weather forecast information and the timing so that you guys can make educated decisions, because I do not get paid to help you guys make plans. I do not get paid to tell you how to dress. I don't get paid to tell you which routes to take to get from point A to point B. I don't get paid to tell you what vehicles to drive. I get paid by generous business sponsors and donations to tell you what the weather's going to do. And that's it. That's it. So I had to do a post last week, unfortunately, reminding people that I have boundaries, because if we don't respect boundaries, then I burn the candle at both ends and you guys lose me. And I don't think many of you want that to happen. So it's about as nice and non-confrontational about boundaries as I can get. It's important that everybody, not just me, exercises boundaries and make sure that they are communicated clearly so that people can make a conscious and concerted effort not to cross or step over boundaries. And that's all I have to say about boundaries. Okay, let's get into Saturday. Ooh, spicy. So I told you guys, this is lower resolution, of course, but this is a lower resolution forecast model basically showing you the same thing. Remember, I told you guys about showers and thunderstorms that we're going to develop and move north across portions of the I-25 corridor and the Eastern Plains Friday afternoon into Friday night, right? Well, we're seeing that here on this model as well, with the areas of snow and the showers and the squalls and the thunder boomies in the mountains as well. Okay? As we get into late Friday night, this storm is also going to undergo rapid cyclogenesis. It's going to spin up. It's going to do its little spinny thing. And during the day on Saturday, we're going to see rain and embedded thunderstorms blossom over I-25 and the Eastern Plains during the day on Saturday. This storm is going to take a little bit, how do I say this? This storm is going to take a track a little bit farther to the south. That's what I was trying to say. English is hard. This storm is going to take a track a little bit farther to the south than storm number 1 did. So this, I believe, is the best opportunity for rain in southern Colorado. It's during the day on Saturday and going into early Sunday. As this storm undergoes cyclogenesis, again, this is the deformation zone, the backside of the storm system. The center of circulation is going to be out here on the Eastern Plains somewhere. There could be some embedded areas of thunder and lightning within this rain as well. This is noon on Saturday. And then look what the NAM is showing us as we head into late Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. The potential for rain to change over to wet snowfall as we head into Saturday night. Now, I told you guys here about 20 minutes or so ago that the models were having a hard time disagreeing where the snow level was going to be at with the second storm system. Well, the NAM just came in with a kablamo, with a shot to deep left field. It's out here. So that's the NAM for you. I'm going to be very careful with my language here. There is potential for rain and thunderstorms to change over or mix with wet snowfall late Saturday afternoon and into Saturday night. Okay? Lord have mercy. All right, let's get to some of the comments. Yeah, so I think the best chance for precipitation is going to be in southern Colorado during the second storm system that comes in on the heels of the first one over the weekend. And then, of course, the NAM throwing a wrench to the engine. I'm not taking this as gospel, okay? I just want to be very clear about that. This is just one model. There is a slew of other data that I need to look at. So please just continue to check in for updates. I'll keep you guys posted like I always do here on the Book Face. I'm also on Twitter, X, and Instagram at Cody the Weather Guy. And of course, for those of you that don't like being on the Book Face nearly as much, I'm also here online, codytheweatherguy.com, where you can access my forecast information for both Colorado and for Idaho. I grew up outside of Boise. Go Broncos. My first love of the Broncos. And I started my very first page out there early January 2017, about 5 months before I started my Colorado page. So I update information out there as well, also called Treasure Valley Weather HQ. So that's my website. You can also subscribe to my email blasts. I send those out every single morning with my forecast as well, because God forbid if I lose everything tomorrow, one thing that the overlords on Bookface and everybody else can't take away from me is my website and my emails. So those are great backups, and I love to use those every single day as well. All right, back to the crazy Nam. So this storm will continue through Saturday. It'll get out of here on Sunday. I think we'll still have some rain to contend with, some isolated thunderstorms during the day on Sunday. And then I have everything next week to look at. But I told you guys a week, almost 2 weeks ago, that I was seeing the synoptic scale weather pattern change and favor much wetter conditions and the potential for a lot of precipitation to fall through the second half of the month of April and potentially continuing into the month of May. And so far, that's exactly what's happening. So this is great for the reservoirs, for late season skiing. This is great for all of our dry land irrigators and farmers that rely on rain. This is wonderful. And this beats the hell out of fire weather coverage any day of the week. But Southern Colorado, you have to deal with fire weather conditions tomorrow. So please, with winds coming off the foothills and then on the eastern plains, they're going to be coming directly out of the south. It could be gusting to 50 miles per hour. Don't be a dum-dum. You shouldn't be dragging chains. You shouldn't be barbecuing. If you throw your cigarette butts out, if I find out, just use common sense, okay? And if you see something, say something. I'm going to show the slides one more time for those of you that may have shown up late. And then just remember, this is going to be recorded and posted on the Book Face. And of course, every like and comment help, as well as every share. And you guys know that you're amazeballs for doing that. So here's your summary. 2 storm systems, 4 days, lots of spicy. And of course, basically every kind of hazard you can imagine, except for meteors and locusts. Sure, we'll go with meteors because some people think that a meteorologist studies meteors. Severe weather threat. Remember, that's going to be primarily north and east of Denver and out on the eastern plains and in Nebraska, far southeast Wyoming and western Kansas tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. And then the mountain snowfall is going to be ridiculous, especially at and above pass level. And then, of course, the potential for a lot of rain to fall, especially across the northern half of our region with 2 storm systems. And then, obviously, I think the most precipitation is going to fall with storm number 2 as it comes in late Friday afternoon into Friday night. And then that will continue into Saturday Saturday could get really spicy with snowfall, depending on how much cold air we have available. And then that eventually will wrap up sometime during the day on Sunday. And then I have everything next week to talk to you guys about. And the forecast models are kind of going back and forth on how they want to resolve that weather pattern. But there could be several more opportunities for scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms with the weather pattern going into next week as we say goodbye to April and say hello to May. Again, this is all being recorded. It'll be posted on the book face in its entirety as soon as we're done with captions. I'll keep you guys updated. Sorry, scratch your throat. Like I always do on the book face, online, codytheweatherguy.com, and of course on Instagram and Twitter, X, whatever, at Cody the Weather Guy. Be safe, stay healthy, take care of each other, don't be dum-dums, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Oh, abs. I am so happy that Georgie proved me wrong. I was eating a huge piece of humble pie before I went sleepies tomorrow night. That was huge for his confidence, and the Avs are freaking back in it. Let's go. Nuggets, sweep the Lakers. That would do my heart so good so we could shut LeBron the hell up. Love you guys. Okay, bye.